Just one more moment, we'll get started. Thank you for coming here to the SORTA board meeting for December of 2025. I'm going to call this meeting to order, and we begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. And right after the pledge, the first thing should always be hearings from citizens. And we've got 3 today, which is great. Welcome. Appreciate you being here. And Anshul, I'm sorry. Could you introduce yourself and speak to the board?
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Anshul Suklecha. I serve on the board of the Downtown Residents Council, where I chair the Pedestrian and Transportation Committee. I'm here to speak to the board because I noticed on Friday morning when I took the 78 bus to 4th and Vine, I saw everyone get off the bus and then start walking towards Government Square through about an inch of slush. I found it humiliating that my fellow riders are caught in the crossfire, and I urge the board to restore service for the 21 and 78 to Government Square Area D as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Rowan.
Hi, my name is Rowan Grisey. I'm with the Better Bus Coalition. I'm also a frequent bus rider. So I noticed recently that I took the bus down from Washington Park recently. My 2 options were the 21 and the 78 in order to catch my connection at Government Square. But because the stop has been moved from Area D, I had to walk a block around to get to my connection. By that time, the bus had already left. And that experience kind of cemented that issue, that this is a really real issue for a lot of people who rely on those buses every day. Please restore service for those routes to Government Square Area D. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cam Hardy.
How y'all doing? a lot of y'all don't even know who I am. I'm Cam Hardy, the president of the Better Bus Coalition. And it's been a while since I've been to one of these meetings. I want to first start off by saying that these meetings need to be streamed on YouTube. It's just about transparency. The only way you can find these is via Facebook, and everybody does not have access to Facebook. Every other county entity that I know streams their meetings on YouTube. I look at this board as a pretty transparent board. Like, I think y'all guys are doing a really good job, and I think that y'all should let other people know that y'all doing a good job by streaming these meetings on YouTube and not just Facebook. It's very important for transparency. So I want to start with that. Secondly, I want to echo my other colleagues here in talking about Area D. My mother rides the 78 to Wyoming every day, and she's not riding a bus right now because she does not want to walk 3 blocks over to 6th and Vine, where there's no shelter, there's no lights, and it feels less safe than being at Government Square. We as transit riders agree that Government Square needs to be safer. There needs to be rules implemented at Government Square. Everybody wants to feel safe. Everybody wants to ride the bus. My issue is, though, that bus riders are being punished right now because the politicians, and I'm gonna just assume that the board, is trying to figure out what to do. And we are stuck in the crosshairs. We know nothing. Nobody's telling us anything. Nobody's giving us updates. We just had a whole service change where nothing, I mean, come on, like, it's getting really frustrating, and I'm not alone. As you can see, other people are saying it too, but there's people that are riding your buses that are echoing these sentiments as well. So please, I don't know what needs to happen, what conversations need to happen, but Area D needs to come back. And we all need to come together at the table to have a collaborative way of making Government Square safe. I'm willing to work with everybody to do that. I'm willing to work with everybody to make sure that Government Square is safe. And my final point is, I would like to know, I'm going to take a page out of my vice president's book and ask this room, how many people rode the bus here today? Again, I don't see anyone raising their hand that is a senior manager or on the executive leadership team of this agency, and that bothers me as well. You guys cannot make informed decisions without riding the bus. You have to be on the ground and know what's going on those buses so that you can make these decisions. And so I'll wrap it up. I could keep y'all all night, but I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Have a good night.
Cam, you're always welcome to come here and speak. Appreciate your voice and all of the citizens who came here to speak tonight. Real quickly, I don't know much about the streaming and the best way to make sure public board meetings are streamed effectively, but we should follow whatever the best practices are, if that's Facebook, YouTube, and others. Just make sure that people can access as best as possible. So thank you for bringing that up. And then on Stop D, I hear passengers having to walk long distances in the weather these days, having to walk it through slush and not good conditions, slippery conditions, I imagine, as well. Rowan, I heard you say that you missed a connection, and then that's a long wait in the cold. And then I also heard that riders are not riding because of Stop T. Okay. We hear your voice on that. And there are meetings happening, but you have to push for resolution on the issue. So thank you very much. All right. Any other speakers? No. Okay, so I have some chair updates, and then we have minutes, we have finance, we have planning and ops, and then we have news from Andy Aiello, and then any opportunity for new business. I will foreshadow, I have kind of business matter, the schedule for next year for board meetings that we can handle in new business. So I was working on what to say for the chair updates, and I was looking over all the decks from this past year, and I went through all the good news sections and just typed out all the awards and accomplishments and successes and things of note. And not surprisingly, it was more than a page of bullet points. And I've been warned maybe not to go through all of them because I might miss somebody. But I think I'm going to try. Apologies to anybody that I've missed or anything that I've missed. So we won the Horace Sudduth Progressive Business Award from Visit Cincy. Tiane Amat got the YWCA Career Woman of Achievement Award. Can't all clap for all of these because it's too long. Last year, and I saw a note about it again today, so I added this one in. We had warming buses in the city, and we received thanks from the city manager for that. I think I saw a note about helping emergency responders come into my phone this morning. It's great that we're able to do that. We had a couple 40 years or 30 years and 2 million mile drivers this year. Andrew Rogers and Robert Waters, absolutely amazing 2 million mile club without a preventable accident. Christina Harvey, Manager of the Year from the Ohio chapter of the National Institute of Government Purchasing, and Procurement Manager of the Year from the Central Ohio Organization of Public Procurement. We had the Golden Bus Awards, and there's so many names in there that I cannot read them all. Just the amazing staff, the Silver Wheel Awards, the Bronze Awards. We won an APTA Security Award. We launched the Easy Connect pilot. We launched MetroNow Zone 3 and 4, 3 in June, 4 in October. There are a lot of adopt the class programs, which I always like hearing about. And I think, Natalie, you run a lot of that, and other staff members too. So thank you for that. We had Metro Family Day, Kings Island. We had new shelters with great parks. Adrian Hairston, you're in Leadership Cincinnati. Khaled, UTIP Policy Board, absolutely amazing. Leading in the field and the industry, both of you. Annalise Lorsbuck, HR, at the All About Women 10th Anniversary Forum. Neil Kelly, the John Romer Advocacy Award. You guys are starting to get bored, so I should go faster. Community chats with Andrew, the Chamber State of the Region, we were highlighted there. Andy Aiello and Rickle Howard Smith, top 200 business leaders. Brandy Jones, Community Impact Award. We launched the Red Bright First Mile, Last Mile Connections, Business Carriers, Power 25. Rickle Howard Smith again. For the Diversity Champion. Steve Anderson, working in Camp Washington and Urban Revitalization Corporation. We had the Stuff the Bus program. Chelsea Clark, who's not here, the Great Expectations Award for African American Leadership Institute. Lisa Ullick and Mike Williams, honored at the APTA annual meeting. We got federal grants for $11.5 million in buses, $2.2 in workforce mobility. We got an auditor's award from the Ohio State Auditor, and then the PRSA Blacksmith Award. And I've probably only captured half by going through the good news. It shows that there's a lot of amazing people here working at all different levels of Metro. I also want to note that we said goodbye to one of our great leaders who won countless awards, in Daryl Haley. And we said hello again, perhaps, to our new leader, Andy Aiello. We've taken on some challenges. Some of them brought up today, and we continue to work to overcome them. I think it's great that we are transporting so many of our students to school nearly every day and to help them grow and learn. And, well, you can't talk about it without talking about BRT. I'm not sure I know the number of community meetings we've had, in the hundreds, not quite thousands, but pushing towards it. The immense amount of work going on there, engaging the community, pushing the design, refining it for projects, a project, two projects, that really will transform transportation in our community. It's been an amazing year. I'm sure I left out several important things, but just the fact that we have such a long list shows that Metro really is transforming our community and working hard to serve our riders each and every day. So those were my quick updates as I move, or not so quick, as I move into talking about the Finance Committee. Actually, we have to do the minutes first. We have two sets of minutes, and I was supposed to sum up on this. The one set of minutes is about a board retreat that we held a couple weeks ago, and there we were talking about strategy. It's been the culmination of a process of 6 months or so, where we've been working with the board and leaders to talk about all the challenges and opportunities that we are engaging right now so that we can be ready to respond to them and focus on them and help give leadership throughout. So we have to approve the minutes for that, and we have to approve the minutes for our November meeting.
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you very much. I think we have to do them individually, so the November minutes, Dan?
That's right.
Great. I think we can do all in favor say aye on this one.
Aye.
All opposed say left. Any abstentions? All right. Dan, would you like to?
I move to approve the minutes from the other meeting for strategic planning that was on December
retreat?
2nd.
Thank you very much. Any seconds?
Second.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion, questions? None. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say left. Any abstentions? All right, the minutes passed. Finance Committee, we had a good Finance Committee meeting. We have the financial results to go over, and we're doing that now, right? Okay, so Mr. Walker?
Thank you, Mr. Etheridge. We'll go to, we had a robust discussion last week during the Finance Committee on this, so I'll hit on this briefly. Going to my wall of numbers, you can see for the month on the left side, total revenue came in at about $14.7 million, which was 1.7% greater than budget. Some ups and downs in those line items you can see, but overall positive for the month. On the expense line, we came in at $13.6 million, which was 1.1% greater than what we had budgeted, meaning we spent more. But all in all, it was a great month. We came in with a operating capital contribution of nearly $1.1 million, which was about $100,000 greater than what we had budgeted. Looking to the right side, I really want to focus the attention on the year-to-date figures. Total revenue came in at $155.8 million compared to a total budget of $156. So that's a difference over the first 11 months of a small $222,000 being less than what we had expected, or 0.1%. And when you look at the expenses, they came in at 152.1 compared to 152.3 on the budget. That's a 0.2% variance. And when you look at it year to date, the operating capital contribution, the actual number is 3,719 compared to a budget of 3,712. It's only it's a small little number we have there that's a difference. So very impressive for the year. Great work all around within the Metro organization, especially creating this bottoms-up budget, which was very detailed by Kevin Ruth and his team. It's nice, and also looking at the comparison to prior year, we're seeing our revenue year over year up about 8%, The expenses year-to-date are up about 5.8%. And as we all know, with the revenue line being greater than the expense line, having that grow greater than your expenses is always good news for us. So Natalie, going to the next page. The big driver, as you can see, you would have seen from the other page, is on our sales tax. We have the actuals right now all the way through August included in our financial statements. Remember, we have a 3-month trailing lag. But looking at this, you can see the current year chart compared to prior year and to the budget. We've done pretty well for this year, consistently exceeding the prior year. And as a matter of fact, when you look at the year-to-date figures, we're about 4.8% greater thus far in 2025 with our sales tax receipts than what we received in 2024. So it's trending in the right way. And as I always say each month, we keep a close eye on this because this represents about 70% of our revenue. So a very important line item for us here at Metro. With that, any questions from the group here? All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. There was a resolution that came out of the Finance Committee for excess workers' compensation insurance for 2026. This is actually $5,000 a lower cost than the previous year. I'm sorry? 5%. Okay, 5% decrease. Close to 5,000, but maybe a little bit more. So I move passage of the contract for excess workers' compensation. Can I get a second? Any questions, concerns, discussion? If not, this is roll call.
Ms. Hamat? Yes. Mr. Bryce? Mr. Driehaus?
Yes.
Mr. Etheridge?
Yes.
Mr. Metz?
Yes.
Ms. Moss? Yes. Mr. Smith? Ms. Smith?
Yes.
And Ms. Taylor?
All right. Thank you very much. I just realized, Pete, I should have made you do the Finance Committee because you were there for that, but then you had to run out for a work meeting for planning and ops.
You're doing a great job, Blake.
Okay.
We should all thank Blake for carrying the committee updates on top of his chair updates for the month. Thank you, Blake.
Okay, so it's all good, all good. So planning and ops, we had a good meeting there. We did go over ridership and service quality. Is important to note that ridership is down, and leadership is looking into that, addressing that. There are some immediate causes that would show kind of a lower ridership for a month, but there's some kind of ongoing trends. And I would think that some of it is likely affected by what citizens came here to address today. So that is a concern that we need to stay on top of. Many other very good numbers as well in performance. We got Metro Rapid updates. Continues to be amazing work in moving forward on that. And next year is going to be quite a year for Metro Rapid. And then Government Square, a lot around the mandate that the board has put forward for figuring out how we have a world-class transit center at Government Square, and we engage the community and stakeholders to realize what that is. We did have a number of resolutions you can see on the agenda, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nothing particularly controversial here, but I want to walk through them. And of course, I got here just in time, so I forgot to turn off my phone. So sorry. First was Trapeze software maintenance agreement. Trapeze software is what we use to run much of the transit system. We are using a few other aspects in that now, not just Trapeze, but we have to continue with Trapeze for a while. APCs, that's our passenger counters, and I think that's to a local company, so that's great. Stakeholder surveys, some annunciator remediation. This is important for riders to know the stop that they're at so they can get off or know that they're going to get off soon. when they hear those enunciators. Professional legal services, which we do every year, and HRIS system, which is a large dollar value but is needed. Oh, and they're all right here on the screen. Anybody have any concerns, questions? These were passed on to the consent agenda, so we can pass them in one block. But at any time, we can take any of these items off for further discussion, questions. Don't want to move too fast. It's a lot on there.
I have a question.
Yes.
I generally understand what a sole source award is, but in the context of Metro, can you describe what that means?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And a lot of what you see on the list here are technology systems that are currently in operation within the organization. So, for example, Trapeze is our computer-aided dispatch and automatic vehicle location system. So it is really the central nervous system of our operation. State procurement laws require us, we can't get into contracts more than 5 years. So we have to come back to the board and renew these agreements. But it's renewing the technology that is running on our system every day. So occasionally we look at making wholesale changes and adopting a different program, but this is a renewal of that program that we had. So we don't competitively bid it. We do a sole source. And when we do that sole source, we're required to get pricing and making sure that it is competitive when we go to up or renew an agreement with a third-party vendor.
Thank you.
Yep.
So that applies to for the APCs.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trapeze is our computer-aided dispatch system. The APC is the system on top on the vehicles that count passengers and the software behind it. Legal services is a very similar situation, and Paycor is our internal HRIS system that we use every day for everything from hiring to learning management to performance reviews and pay and timekeeping as well, or at least payroll. So those are those kind of institutional systems that the procurement process requires to repeatedly go back out and make sure we're getting value, but we don't necessarily do a external bid.
The technology one can be particularly challenging because transforming the systems is a massive change to the organization, but it's a good question that should be brought up repeatedly every time. So thank you.
Move approval.
Can I get a second? Properly moved and seconded. Last chance for questions. Roll call.
For questions.
What?
So you're just begging for questions.
Ms. Amat? Yes. Mr. Bryce? Mr. Driehaus?
Yes.
Mr. Etheridge?
Yes.
Mr. Metz?
Yes.
Ms. Moss? Yes. Mr. Smith? Yes. Ms. Smith?
Yes.
And Ms. Taylor?
Motion passes. I'll just note that Pete's over here giving me a hard time. I used to teach graduate seminars, so I'd always have that quiet time, making people uncomfortable before they speak. Old habits are hard to lose. So I'll go quickly over to Andy Aiello for progress and priorities.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple things we want to talk about today as we wrap up the year. The projects and progress and priorities report is intended to kind of, look behind the curtain and see what we're doing within the organization, things that maybe we've talked about as a board, but we then implement as staff. This month's report focuses on the organization. As we've talked about kind of our strategic priorities and how this organization continues to grow and change, we have an incredible executive team, and we've been very strategic in the way we are adjusting the org chart and how things function within the organization. We need to be highly effective behind the scenes so we can carry out the strategy that this board creates. So just a couple moving parts that we've done in the last few months to, again, try to align resources and improve our overall effectiveness. We've moved the procurement function under the CFO. This aligns grants and financial planning and accounting with the procurement piece, which will allow us to be more strategic in how we plan and also create some efficiencies for all those folks that track the numbers within the organization. The PMO office or project management team was brought under our chief of staff. It's an alignment. The chief of staff's responsibility is to have that cross-departmental view of the organization. And the PMO office is by nature managing multi-department projects and making sure that they have visibility across all silos. So that's been a big win for us as well. We also moved operator training to operations. Operator training, it reports directly to the Senior Director of Safety and Security with a dotted line to the Human Resource Learning function. So we're kind of getting the best of both worlds here, where we're more closely aligning the work of training with the folks who provide that service on the street. And so there's a quicker feedback loop there, which we think will reinforce, again, our commitment to safety and that feedback from the operations as it lives and breathes, but still retaining that strategic expertise of the learning department within HR. We've talked about this in the past. We have officially launched our transit operator success coaches. We have one at each major operating division. And so far that has already proven to be a success. We've seen a lot of interaction. We have developed KPIs for those folks in terms of touch points and support that they're going to provide to those first year operators. And so far, so good. So thank the team for getting that up and running. Similarly, a kind of a new announcement here is that we have an internal maintenance training committee that consists of both bargaining unit and management employees. That committee recently did some peer research and voted unanimously to recommend Metro and ATU to partner develop a formal registered maintenance apprentice program. So a little bit new to me, formal registered maintenance apprenticeships are registered with the Department of Labor. And with that, there are certain criteria that have to be met, and also mean that there's certain resources that are available to us as we train that next generation of workforce. This is one that, it's hard to find a diesel mechanic, and it's hard to compete in that space. So we're being strategic to try to grow our own, find folks that are new to the organization that have that mechanical aptitude, bring them through that apprentice program, and meet our technical needs in-house. So these are some of the moving parts that are happening internally. I'm happy to answer any questions, and just kind of underlining this with my appreciation for the executive team, because they are moving very quickly and making these changes in stride, and all for the better. So appreciate the opportunity to report, and happy to take any questions. Bill, you have any thoughts on, or you want to share what the timeline is?
We're hoping to actually begin having apprentices in the program by July or August of 2026. So there'll be a lot of work going on in the next 6 to 7 months as we pull the program together.
I'm particularly eager to hear more about the transit operator success coaches. As you guys know, the churn of operators when they're new, because they face a lot of challenges in adjusting to driving for Metro, is an issue. And we want drivers to stay for a long time, have a career here, just like those, million-mile award winners that I mentioned earlier. They're safe, they're effective, and they're good careers. So this is helping people to get to that by helping them work through that first year. And I imagine they'd get a little bit of help even in the 13th or 14th month as well. But I like this is responsive to trying to maintain all the drivers that we can. So we're at our staffing targets. And then that also hits performance rate.
Yeah.
Lowers missed trips, raises on-time performance, and ultimately that's what we need for our riders. So these initiatives are good. Thank you for updating us on those.
Sure, thank you. And if I to put a point on it, and again, also underlining the teamwork part of this, we have our highest fixed route operator headcount that we've had in many, many years. So we are starting to inch right up against that full staffing with respect to the fixed route operator team, which again, we haven't seen in the last 5 years. So This is hopefully contributing, although it's very early. But really, what's resulting in that number is just the constant work by the team to make sure that we keep staffing and that we keep listening to our frontline folks. So appreciate the feedback.
I think many people have contributed to that effort, and well, over the last 8 years, as far as I know, it has been a number one topic. So thank you for that. Yes.
Yes, I just want to say I think that's awesome to have operator coaches and just having a caring environment and sending that message clear to your operators. I'm just curious to know how many first-year operators do we have and how many coaches did you hire?
We have 2 full-time coaches, and we have about 75 to 80 operators in that first year. And that kind of comes and goes, obviously, as some come in and others move on.
All right. Seeing no other questions, I'm going to pass around basically a draft schedule for next year. There are no real surprises on here. It's just simplified a little bit from previous years. In our board retreat, we talked about some of the ad hoc committees that have been around for a while, but haven't met, and so they're no longer on there. I think we can move passage of this in January. Is that okay? Asking staff. Okay. We'll still have our committee meetings on that third Tuesday, and then the full board meeting third Tuesday.
Tuesday committee.
Yeah, and then, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I saw a reaction. I was like, maybe I got that wrong. And we are going to have an infrastructure meeting in January, I think, on the schedule. We're trying to aim for having it on the second month of each quarter, because that's when we're going to have the kind of data on how the infrastructure projects are progressing. But the first quarter, I think we're going to meet January and March, because there's often more to do at the beginning of the year for infrastructure. All right, so let me know if you see any problems. I think in July, we did push committee meetings to Thursday, and that had to do with an APTA conference. If we need to adjust that, we can do that later in the year, but that's why that's on there. Okay, and that is the new business I had. Happy holidays.
Sorry, one question. It's a follow-up to Cam's question that he asked about the executive leadership team and the board riding the bus. I would be curious to know, like, what's the average for the leadership team? Whatever that is, without putting a major time-intensive survey burden on. But I think that's something we'd be interested in knowing.
Okay, great. I'll admit I am riding the bus less since I am working from home right now. When I worked downtown, I loved riding the bus. My opinion was always it was easier than driving in, and I could get work done on the bus. So I do love riding the bus. Now I ride it for entertainment purposes, and it works out just fine for that too. All right, any other new business?
I had a follow-up question to public comment. I know that conversations are occurring around Area D. Do we have a timeline as to when we expect that will be resolved, a decision one way or another?
I don't have a definitive timeline. I think I've been in touch with the city and the city manager's office almost on a daily basis. So I don't have anything definitive in terms of when we would have a decision.
I think it's important to note that the city controls the space entirely. They own it. And so they have to let us know when we can use it again. It is part of the street. It is part of the right-of-way. They own it.
Thank you.
Thank you. No others? new business, then the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Nice job, Blake. That was a lot on your shoulders.